Fala pessoal, tudo bem? Antônio da Planeta Marinho. Estou aqui na frente da White Corals. Estamos aqui, ó. Pera aí, ó lá, White Corals. Tá chegando aqui o ganhador da promoção Planeta Marinho. Te leva para Interzoo na Alemanha, o Paulo.
Chegando na Disneylândia da Alemanha.
Chegando na Disneylândia da Alemanha. E Paulo, como é que foi essa Interzoo para você?
Maravilhosa, coisa de outro mundo.
Valeu.
Andei e não consegui ver nem metade. Valeu
muita coisa de aquarismo, né? Muita coisa. A feira é enorme. Uma feira que eu acho que todo mundo deveria um dia vir visitar.
Com certeza.
Mas valeu a pena então ter comprado a Planeta Marinho e ter participado dessa promoção?
Agora resta ganhar pro ano que vem agora, para ir para os Estados Unidos.
Bora. Então agora a gente vai visitar aqui, ó, a Interzoo. A Interzoo não, a Interzoo já foi. Agora é a White Corals. Então bora lá, Paulo. Aqui um sal da Niles. Para quem não sabe, a White Corals, os donos da White Corals são proprietários também da Niles. A gente vai ver bastante produto deles aqui.
Antônio, até 1000 litros eu levo 2.0 ou 1.0?
Não, desses filtros da Torque, para 1000 litros tanto faz, tá? Diferença é a quantidade de mídia que você vai utilizar. 2.0 você vai usar bastante mídia. Eu acho que para um aquário de 1000 litros bem equilibrado, dificilmente você vai usar a quantidade de mídia que vai nele. Eu usaria 1.0. Dá para ver aqui, ó. Na loja da Niles eles têm aqui, na loja da White Corals, né, que é da Niles, eles têm aqui o tamanho dos filtros. Então esse é 1.0, esse é 2.0. Como aqui você pode colocar ele ou inteiro de uma mídia só ou meio a meio, o seu aquário esse aqui tá certo.
Entendi. Né? E isso daqui que você usa para dividir as mídias?
Isso, vai ser a telinha que vai ficar no meio aqui para dividir a mídia. Esse é do 2.0 e esse daqui é o do 1.0. Lembrando que todos eles usam a mesma base, tá? Então, esse aumento diminui assim o fluxo de água dentro dele.
Planeta Marinho, dá a viagem para a Alemanha e ainda
dá consultoria aqui na Alemanha. Pois é, pessoal. Eu tô aqui na fazenda de corais da White Corals, tá? Aqui dos meus amigos Christian e Matias. E tem muita coisa para ver. Vamos ver. Muita coisa aqui. Vou mostrar quem está comigo aqui, ó.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Christian from White Corals and Niles. I didn't understand the Portuguese, but probably
don't
that's
worry,
what you said.
Don't worry. I just telling them that I'm here to visit your beautiful farm, and we will talk about what products do you use in the farm.
Yeah. So
can we show for Brazilian customers?
Sure.
What kind of salt do you use? What kind of light? The treatment of the corals?
Yeah.
And I will translate everything.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. So this is our coral farm where we culture the corals. So 100% of the corals here are aquacultured in our facility.
All right.
Yeah. So I can show you around.
Let's go.
Yeah. At the moment, we have two big farm systems. So one is 10 meter long and 1 meter 50 wide.
1 meter 50
wide,
okay.
10 meter long. Each has a display tank. And then we have the sump on the bottom. And of course, we are using all our products here. So as you can see, we have the Quantum 300 skimmer over here.
All right.
And the whole system has 5,000 liters. When we started the system...
Let me put here.
Yeah, but it looks nicer, right?
Yeah.
So when we started the system, we had two Quantum 300 skimmers here.
Okay.
But we recognized that one is strong enough to pull out all the dirt of the whole system. So now we only have one Quantum 300 skimmer.
And how is the nitrates and phosphates in this aquarium?
So it's very important that
in this whole system.
Yes, for the
all
whole
connected.
system, just one skimmer. Okay. On the other system, another skimmer. So one system has 5,000 liters
okay.
and one Quantum 300 skimmer. And we always have nitrate and phosphate. It's really important that you make sure to have enough phosphate and nitrate for the corals. So the phosphate level is around 0.05 and the nitrate level should be around 5 or something.
5 or
The
something.
nitrate is a little bit more difficult to keep at a stable level, and the phosphate is really pretty stable, so we keep it very stable. We measure the parameters every single day. I can also show you our small in-house lab. So
They have a small lab over here.
yes, so this is our testing machines. So all the systems are tested here with these machines. We're testing alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, phosphate, nitrate, salinity, and also temperature. And we are doing
How
that
times a day?
1 time a day for every system.
Every system.
Yes, for
All right.
every system. And then we track everything to be sure that the parameters are stable. And for example, with the phosphate, we control it via our coral food. So we add the coral food, most of it is the instant plankton and the calanos, the gold pots,
All right.
the nice gold pots. And we add plenty of that, and then we check the phosphate level. And with these foods, we keep the phosphate level stable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I always tell my clients that nitrating 5 it's excellent. Then phosphate between 0.03 to 0.08.
Exactly, it's exactly the same
Exactly, yeah.
range we are having here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep it at 0.05, but that's the range, 0.03 and 0.08. Once we have 0.1, then we'll add GFO, like the 4CX, to remove it. As you can see over here, we also have like torques running over there as the phosphate level is fine.
right.
We are they don't have any bodies on there yet,
All
but
right.
let me check the other system. Okay, so they're probably just exchanging them, but I remember you asked at the beginning what devices are we using. So we have a quantum skimmer here. We have in each system 3 torques, NIOS torque, and then the light is Ecotech Radion and MP40s. So we have around 100 Radions running and also around 100 MP40s.
This tank has 1.5 meters.
Yes.
For how long? To
1 meter, 1 meter is the depth, and the
Okay.
height is 70 centimeters.
7 centimeters.
Yes.
Okay. So you are using 5 radions
Over there, yes.
XR30.
Yeah, that's pretty much light, but we have SPS, and we want the SPS to grow fast, so we have quite strong light. And all the corals you can see here, they grew from a really, really small frag. So
All corals are frags
yes.
in some time.
All corals have been frags at some time.
Okay. They are amazing.
Thank you.
Nice colors, excellent shape. Excellent shape.
Yes, you only can reach the excellent shape if you're starting with a small frag. If you're adding mother colonies to the system, then the shape will never be perfect. But when you add small frags, they can perfectly adapt to the parameters in the tank, and they will have the perfect shape.
Yeah, and all corals are really healthy too.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, and this is also the farm. On the one side, of course, we are selling the corals. But this is where we get all the knowledge for the NIOS products. Because we are touching thousands of corals every day, and we see the corals every day. We have thousands of corals in our facility, so we know exactly what the corals needs, and what makes the difference. And also, in our facility, we are only using the NIOS pure salt.
NIOS pure.
And we made it for our coral farm. The parameters on the salt are exactly like what we recommend in marine tanks. So the alkalinity is around 8.5, calcium is 435, and these are exactly the parameters we are running here in our farm. So if we do even a water change of 50%, the parameters will stay stable.
Right.
And when we before
This is
we had our own
the
salt.
twin brother
Yes,
of this tank.
exactly. It's exactly the same system. Everything's exactly the same. same size, same length, same volume,
But
same
two
devices.
systems with two different waters, but with
Yes.
the same parameters.
Yes, different
Alright.
waters, but the same parameters. We
Okay.
also splitting a little bit the corals, that on the one system we have more SPS, on the other we have more LPS, but the parameters are still the same. It's just that on the SPS you need more light, so we put them into one part of the tank and the LPS in another system.
Amazing. I will show my clients now this aquarium. It's absolutely amazing as well.
I can show you some special corals. For example, this
Alright.
chalice here with some bounce and a really unique color. Then we have beautiful polyps over there.
This is a Zoantids, probably.
Yes, these are
Yes.
zoanthids, and also over here we have really nice zoanthids. The colony on the right
I
here,
had
that
this
one
one
is super
at my
nice.
store, the GMK.
And talking about the salt, so we really saw a big difference when we started using our own salt, because before, when we just bought salt, the parameters have not been stable, so they had a high fluctuation. Sometimes the alkalinity was higher, sometimes lower, but also on the sulfate, sometimes it was higher and lower. And that was also one thing. That was also when we recognize when we do a salt, we need to be sure that the parameters are really consistent over several batches, because you don't want it in your tank. You do a water change and then you want to have the same parameters like before, right?
I always talk to my clients that when you choose the salt, you have to choose with the parameters that you keep in your aquarium.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I like much more salts with medium concentrations of calcium, magnesium, KH. Because if you take, for example, one salt with higher parameters, when you do the water change, could be worse for your corals.
Absolutely.
Could be a problem.
100% agree to this. I think the salts with elevated levels of calcium, magnesium, this comes from the past, because 10 years ago people did not know how to raise the calcium or alkalinity level, so they just made a water change, and then with a salt with high calcium and alkalinity, and then these parameters went up in your tank. But nowadays everybody knows how to adjust calcium and alkalinity, and that's not the reason why I make a water change, to increase the levels uncontrolled, because if you do a water change, you cannot control, if the salt has wrong parameters, how your parameters are changing.
Yeah, and the Nile salt is ICP tested?
Yes, so every single batch is ICP tested by a third party, not done by us. So
from batch to batch, you can have some difference between some parameters, but little
exactly.
differences.
And the ICP, with the ICP, we also wanted to add some transparency to the salt. So we show, you can, I can show you maybe the easiest thing is I can just show you a bucket, right? I have one over there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Aqui é a fazenda deles, pessoal, é bem grande. Agora a gente vai chegar aqui num lugar, ó, que é...
This is our video studio.
Aqui é um estúdio que eles montaram para fazer, ó. Quem sabe um dia o Planeta Marinho tem um estúdio desse tamanho. Ó, com luz, com tudo. E aqui eles têm o balde de sal que eles vendem, né? Do Niosphere. Niosphere is, for now, it's only in this size bucket.
20 kilogram bucket, yes.
People is asking about the smaller buckets.
Yeah, I heard that too. So I'm pretty positive that this will be available soon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the special thing, what I mentioned, is that every single batch is ICP tested, and you have the parameters of alkalinity,
calcium, magnesium, potassium, and the salinity.
Yes, you have it on the bucket, but you can also scan the QR code, and if you follow the link on the QR code, you can see the full analysis, right? And you can also see...
You use the Triton ICP.
Yes, it's the Triton ICP. And as I mentioned, it's not done by us. It's an independent third-party company. And with this, we add the transparency. So you can also see that, for example, the iron is red here because this is an anti-caking agent on the salt. You need to have that. Everybody has it, right? So that's part of the transparency. We are showing it. We are not hiding it. But the other parameters like this, they are showing impurities. They are all perfect because we are using pharmaceutical grade salt, and we can prove with the ICP that it is really an extremely clean salt.
Yeah, the Nile salt, the development of the Nile salt works for a long time.
Yes, that's true. So we know also that buying salt is trust. So before we sold the first bucket, we used it for 1 year straight in our facility without giving it to somebody else to make sure that it's batch consistent, that all batches are good. And still up today, of every single batch, we use something for our coral system. So we use a small but representative fraction of the batch and put it into a coral system and check if the corals are doing good. So we have several quality controls, in-house lab, external lab with ICP tested, but also we are testing every batch on corals.
Excellent, excellent. So we can show the corals that you are growing here?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So for example, just to show you some rare ones, the red one, let me get a pointer.
All right.